Welcome to From the Stands, your one-stop shop podcast for insider access and in-depth interviews with your favorite Billiken coaches and players. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Billiken Podcast for the latest news on future episodes. Now, here is your host, Billiken Athletic Director, Chris May.
Here we go. Welcome, Billiken fans, to From the Stands, our podcast where we talk Billiken athletics all the time. It's great to have Josh Schertz here with us today, our new men's basketball coach. Coach, welcome. How's it going?
Everything's great. Everything's good. Week one of summer access getting rolling.
So I was looking at the calendar. It's been like 60 days. Tell us, it's been a whirlwind. It seems like it was yesterday. It's gone so quickly. But first impressions of St. Louis and St. Louis University, what all this means, and as you've hit the ground running.
Yeah, I think first the city itself, incredibly impressed. It's a sports town. When you look at it, been able to go to a Cardinals game, been able to go to a soccer game.
Through a strike.
Basically, if it was Zach Edey up there or somebody, Donovan Clingan, I think that was definitely at waist level.
No question.
Was able to go to those games. You see the passion of the fans. Just being out in town, people already, recognize, who we are. I think there's a great excitement. So it's a great sports town. It's a big city, but doesn't feel, overwhelmingly big. People are still incredibly nice, the Midwestern values. So it's been a great acclimation for me and my family. In terms of SLU itself, couldn't have been, really what we expected. I think I said I had high expectations coming in. And everything's really exceeded those expectations. There's a great alignment from the top down in terms of basketball and how important it is and what we want to accomplish. This is a school that has a great academic reputation, deservedly so. Amazing campus. Set up with the backdrop of the city of St. Louis behind it, but you got a beautiful campus with great academics. You got alignment from the top down, the board to Dr. Postello, all the administration, in terms of not just what we want to do, because I think that's pretty simple, but really how we want to go about doing it. The importance of every student having an exception that's involved in our athletic department, having an exceptional student-athlete experience, and that being at the forefront. We want to win championships, but man, do we want to do more than that? And that alignment's, made my acclimation pretty seamless.
Now, when I looked at, and I knew, but I didn't totally know. When I looked at your previous schools, Florida Atlantic, I knew that. Lynn University, Queens University, High Point for 5 years, right? Then Lincoln Memorial, where you had the great run. And then Indiana State, winning 32 games last year. All of those parts, which you and I have talked about, all those parts of the journey prepare you for the next, right?
Correct.
And so how have all of those pieces prepared you for what hit here in April when you get here? We've got 3 returners. We got to put a roster together. We got to get a schedule. You got to build the staff. And then you've got to acclimate into this city. How did all of those previous experiences prepare you for walking in here and hit the ground running?
It's a great question. I think, I was so fortunate to really have done it at Indiana State and gone through it. I think the way life works in any job, whether you're a player or coach or an athletic director, any business or any sector you're in, you start off and all you have is your instincts. Right? I mean, you work completely on instincts. And if your instincts are good, that allows you to spend enough time on your job to get a real experience, right? And so if you have really good instincts early, you can kind of navigate, you know what you're doing. And then you start to have experiences. And then if you're able to process your experiences correctly and really take the lessons from each experience, good or bad, that gives you wisdom. Right, and that's where wisdom is derived from, is instincts leading to experiences, processing experiences correctly. That becomes wisdom, and then you have an idea of. So when I walked in here, I knew this was going to be a sprint. We were really fortunate that we walked in late because that meant we were winning and playing, and while we didn't win the championship, and I'll live with that one forever, we did
2 inches away.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And so, playing all the way through April 4th or 5th or whatever it was a great experience. But it did set us behind coming in. But you learn to really prioritize, what do you got to do? And it started with, staff. That was number one. Because without that, nothing else is really going to work. And then it was all right, how are we going to make sure, who fits here at St. Louis? You start inside out. And, I didn't know what was going to happen in the portal or at Indiana State or anywhere else in terms of who was coming, going, whatever. But I wanted to start here with who fit our culture, who fit our system, who wanted to be at St. Louis, and who fit how we're going to operate. And then you work out to, once you have the staff in place, and I thought we hit that out of the park. We put together as good a staff as I think there is in America in terms of from what I'm looking for from the people I work with every single day, and that led to being able to go out and really prioritize from a recruiting standpoint. I think what happens a lot of times is when you get into a job, it's April and you have 10 open spots, is you panic, right? And you just, okay, we got to get this done, and you panic recruit. And when you start making those type of decisions, and you just make decisions because you're nervous or you're fatigued from the process of having to get so many guys. I think we hosted 15 official visits.
We had a lot
coming through. So I think it was 15 official visits, some unofficial visits. And so there's a chance you can get fatigued. And you learn, and I learned from my previous experience, my first year through it at Indiana State, that you got it. You have to maintain the standards of what you want to do. You can't let we got to get 10 overwhelm. Hey, we got to get this right. We want to get it done expeditiously, but it's more important we get it done correctly. And then, as you said, and Brian's done a great job with this, connecting me to the community, connecting me with the media, making sure I'm building those relationships. Corey Tate, who we retained on staff, certainly has been great in terms of being a liaison between myself and a lot of the people, but most importantly, the coaches here in St. Louis, which has been tremendous. And so it's kind of all worked together. We knew it was going to be a sprint, and couldn't have really gone much better than it has. It doesn't always work perfectly, but I think when you look at what we're able to do in really, 8 weeks from staff to putting together a roster to been able to kind of connect here with the media locally to, you look at what we've been able to do in the community. I think we made a lot of progress here in these 8 weeks, and now we can settle in and start the process that I enjoy the most, which is the actual, being on the court with the guys in practice.
Getting down to coaching, I think the value proposition is what I've been most impressed by. And really, from the first time we met, we talked about values and what it takes to be championship values. I think you talked about. Here we are, week 1 of practice. You finally get on the court with 13 guys, of which you probably need name tags, other than the one time when you meet them through the recruiting process. How have you set those standards and talked about those values in week 1 of practice? I've noticed a difference from Monday to Thursday, and I thought that was unbelievably quick. How do you set those pillars, if you will, to make sure everybody knows what the values are and what the mode of operation is?
Well, I think, the ultimate mission statement for any, I think we told this, the only measure of leadership is, are you getting the most of the people you're in charge with, right? So everybody, you lead way more people than I do, but I have my group, my team. Am I getting the most out of every single person? We talk a lot about our mission as a staff is to serve our players and to create an environment where everybody can reach their full potential, reach their ceiling, right? Individually, collectively. And I think people hear that and they go, okay, well, that means you come in and you coddle these guys and, everything's not at all. We want to have the highest of standards. We want to have an incredible level of accountability to those standards. We talk a lot about championship DNA, championship habits. The championship teams do have championship habits. And you develop those habits in practice. You don't develop them in the games. You don't develop them, anywhere else. We try to recruit guys with the right level of competitive character, shared values as it relates to work, as it relates to competition, as it relates to the value of winning, because we're in a bottom line business where we are judged by a scoreboard. That's the ultimate measure, is did we win or did we lose collectively? But creating that environment, and I think you can do it in a way where it's demanding and there's high standards, but you can also be encouraging and supportive. I don't think any environment People can't be their best in a negative, pessimistic environment, right? Like
sure.
it can't be Pollyanna, positivity. That's not right either. But I don't think you can get up and come to work every day in a negative, pessimistic environment and be your very best. Our job as coaches is to create that environment, hold them those standards, have high levels of accountability, but do it in a way that guys know, hey, I'm encouraged, I'm supported. Coach is trying to teach me. Coaches are invested in me. They're pouring everything they have into me. They're shooting me straight. They're not telling me. They're not blowing smoke. They're talking to me with complete honesty and transparency, but they're invested in me as a person, as a player, and in me trying to reach my ceiling. And when they feel that, you start to get that work. And the other great thing we have is certainly with Robbie and Isaiah coming. Robbie's a guy that he brings the vision of who we want to be as a program to the floor, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like all the things we value, he values. He lives and breathes our culture. He's bought in and completely invested in our culture, how we work, how we train, how we prepare, what goes into winning. And he's going to hold guys in a very positive way. He tends to see the best in people, but he's going to hold guys in a very positive way, accountable to those principles that drive winning. And when you have somebody like that on the court, and he really received that from Bledson and Cam Henry and those guys who were at LMU, that makes the transition for other guys easier when your best player is completely invested, leads, and he brings those values to the court, that vision for the program to the court every day. That makes it a lot easier for guys to buy in and to create that group buy-in of, hey, okay, this is how we're going to operate.
Week one of practice. What's your first impression from week one?
Love a lot of things about this team, and I think this time of year, if you don't, you're probably in trouble. I would say most coaches really like, but they work really hard. They're unselfish. They care. They're trying to do what we're asking them to do. Our style of play really looks pretty simple when you watch us play. You go, okay, just guys out there, everybody's moving and doing this, and ball's moving. I would say, it looks like a summertime ball with really good players, right? It looks like you go out and just hoop in the summer. But we talk a lot about, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, right? And to make it look so simple takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline and a lot of time, a lot of game reps, a lot of film reps to understand what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it. We got a group, I think we got really good size, we got good athleticism, guys care, they care about the right things, they're practicing hard. They're trying to do everything we're asking them to do. It's going to be a process. It is for every team. It was last year. So I have 11 new players because I coach Robbie and Isaiah, and I have, obviously Jaden, but on the scholarship guys, I have 11 new guys. Last year I had 9. So it's not like it's so different. And that process last year, we were in October and we were like, man, Ryan Conwell can't make a shot off these DHOs, and Isaiah Swope's not learning this, and and we were like, frustrated with and then all of a sudden, it kind of clicks, and we were wherever we were in November, and it got better, and it got better, and it got better, and and that's kind of the way it goes, the way we play. The hope is that when you see us in November, we'll be at a level where we're certainly able to really compete and win games, but that we're a much better team in January, and then we're a way better team in February and March, and that we're at our best, when it matters most, which is when there's elimination time. And while we're still a ways away from that, there'll be a time, hopefully 9 months from now or so, about where it will be elimination time. And we're going to have to be able to play our best because win or go home. Our goal is to be at our best when it matters most. But we want to play to our standard every single time we put the jersey on. And so we got to build those habits and then go try to play to those standards every time we tee it up. And we got a lot of work to do. But it's been a really good week with these guys. There's not been, from the work standpoint, the focus standpoint, trying to do what we ask. I couldn't be happier in terms of the group we put together.
Well, it's been great watching it. It's great to have you here. Any last message to the Billiken faithful? We're selling season tickets. We've got people on the wait list. Any final message before we do this again?
I hope everybody comes out and supports. I really do. This team, we want to create an incredible home court advantage here at Schertz, and we know we got to earn that, right? Like it's not a one-way street. Like just don't come out and say, okay, well, we got to go out and we got to play hard and we got to play as a team and we got to win, we got to entertain, and I think we'll do those things. But we've got a group that's here that really loves St. Louis, loves being loves being the Billikens, loves this community, came here with a purpose. I would love to see our fans and wrap their arms around this group, encourage them, support them, come out, watch us play. You come out and watch us play, you'll be back. I promise you'll be back. This is, I think this, like I said, this city loves sports. We don't have an NBA team here. I think that we can really fill a gap in the sports community if we're able to do what we think we can do. And we want to make this place rock. And we want Chaffetz sold out. We want to create an incredible home court advantage. We've got to do our part, and hopefully our fans will as well. We'll meet halfway and make this a really, really difficult place for opponents to come in. And I think we got a chance to have a group that can do that. And I look forward to seeing our fans here, hopefully November 7th.
Well, I think you've done a great job of lighting the match early. And when you're in the community, I was out yesterday at a golf tournament. Unbelievable how many people are fired up to have you here, as I am. So great to have you. We'll do this many more times. Get after it the rest of the summer, and we'll do it again, Billiken fans, from the stands. Until next time, go Bills.
Thanks for listening to From the Stands with Billiken Athletic Director Chris May. Subscribe to our podcast in the iTunes Store and have the latest episodes sent straight to your phone. Go Billikens!